pop
everything.
culture or people spreading kind of the story and the reveals. Yeah.
Wasn't worried about getting shot in a theater. You know, the standards.
That's only for Batman movies.
That's true.
Thank you for downloading our recent episode. For more episodes like this, go to movieguyspodcast.podbean.com for more episodes. Enjoy the show.
One of my favorite jokes in this movie is towards the end when Woody Harrelson is sitting at the bar and he's just quiet. He's having a drink and he just randomly yells at a guy, "I'm not psycho," and then doesn't say anything. I laughed so hard. Tonight we're talking about Kingpin. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
There's not too many bowling movies to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm. This is
I
it.
don't know. It's this one. I told you about The Gutter. And anyone listening, if you want to watch another bowling movie, I'd recommend The Gutter.
This is it. This is
This is it. And I think the Farrelly brothers understood that, and they thought, you know what? Here's something that we can make. We can make a bowling movie because there is no bowling movie out there.
Right. Yep. This is it for the sports retrospective last episode, right? And also, the Farrelly brothers were upset. I saw read some IMDb trivia, and they were heartbroken with the box office flop that this was. And I don't disagree with it being a flop. I'm not a fan of this movie.
The Farrelly brothers themselves are an acquired taste.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Did they do Dumb and Dumber?
Listen, they were riding high for a little bit in the 90s, right? Whether it be like Dumb and Dumber or Something About Mary or Me, Myself, and Irene, right?
Which this is in between those.
This
was 96.
Is it? Yes, 96.
So
why
then,
is that showing up? Oh, director. I'm looking at his writing credits. Yeah, here we go. Excuse me. Director, Kingpin. That was before or in between Dumb and Dumber and Something About Mary.
right. So they had, right off the bat, Dumb and Dumber, great success. Their sophomore effort was a slump, but then they come out with Something About Mary and Me, Myself, and Irene. Perfect, right? I mean,
yeah, There's Something About Mary. I think was also maybe not to the box office that they wanted, but I think that was one of the movies that at the time Austin Powers where they shattered like rental records. Where it didn't perform as like they wanted to in the theater, but it went gangbusters in the rental, which really seems like a lot of Farrelly Brother movies where it doesn't do well at the first go, but then it gets shown on repeat on HBO or Cinemax. People are just like, oh, this is actually kind of humorous, like Shallow Hell, for instance.
which I don't like because that was their follow-up to Me, Myself, and Irene then, right?
Yeah. I mean, Peter Farrelly did a lot of other movies. He did like Osmosis Jones. But yeah, after Shallow Hell really seemed to just kind of dip because you had Stuck on You.
Ooh.
If you remember that ridiculous movie,
Yes.
Fever Pitch.
Fever Pitch. Really? That is the least Farrelly Brothers movie out there. Okay.
Well, this is, again, Peter had done his own projects too because he also, I think, got the Oscar for The Green Book.
Oh, he directed The Green Book.
Yeah, so his solo projects are probably more known or better received than when they both do their own thing together because together, what they do together? Stuck on You, Fever Pitch. Oh, they did the Three Stooges movie, the new one.
That came out like less than 10 years ago? That was terrible?
It was over 10 years, like 2012, yeah, with Will Sasso and two other guys, which I actually didn't mind, but I'm also a big fan of the Three Stooges. No, it was not good. I still had fun with it. But at the same part, I know that movie 43 is really disappointing for a lot of people, but I like that because because of how dumb it is. The dumber, the better for me.
Right. I mean, you do like Cheech and Chong's movies. We established that in our Buddy series before.
Yeah.
All right. What with Kingpin, this is their sophomore effort. I do love Dumb and Dumber. I think that movie is slick all the way through. I don't know if we're ever going to talk about that movie in the future, so I will say what I find it funny as an adult now, Dumb and Dumber, is that I just thought it was funny as a kid, right? Like this stupid toilet humor, right? But as an adult, I'm watching, I was like, oh, I get it. I get exactly what they're going for. This is supposed to be a serious kidnapping movie, but you got two dimwits in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I discovered that when I was in college age. You're like, oh, I get it now. You know.
I think that one just did well just because of who was playing in it. Like Jim Carrey had how many movies coming out within the span of a year or two?
Well, yeah,
right?
Yeah, Mask, Dumb and Dumber. Yeah.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah. So Kingpin was one of those movies where it was those, I don't know how to word I want to say, but it was those hush-hush movies. What I mean by that is I would go to kids' houses, right? And there's always those kids in the neighborhood where I'm not allowed to watch South Park, but they are allowed to watch South Park kind of kids, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
I don't have an N64, but they have an N64. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, okay, I follow you here.
You know? And this would be like one of those things where I would come over to the house, I ride my bike. You're so good friends with them that you don't even knock on the door. You just walk in and they're in their room playing a game or something. And this movie would be on. Like they would have these movies. Like these kids would have this movie. And the part that just got everybody this is a PG. No, this isn't our movie. I don't know. Is when Ishmael says, "There's a huge cloud of shit over the horizon."
It's PG-13.
PG-13. That's my one swear word. That just got all these adolescent boys. They thought it was absolutely hilarious. I never got it. I always thought that the tournament at the end was the strongest part. And I was really excited to review this with you because I was like, okay, did I just not get it? Is it another Dumb and Dumber for me, right? Where there's something there that I'm not seeing. Right? I'm telling you, this movie's not as witty or smart as Dumb and Dumber. This movie is very, very boring and very dry and hardly anybody likable.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Oh, perfect.
The thing about Fairley Brother movies is I feel like because there's two of them and their writing method, I remember reading about this, is that them and maybe one other person or two other people, one would be like there's scribe who would write everything down as they dictate, but their method is basically get into a car and just drive, and they would just drive and all their ideas would come to them on the road. And I understand that there's been many times where we've all had to take long drives, and after however many hours or hour they on the road, your mind just starts to kind of entertain itself, right? And you keep on come up with these ideas. And so that's how they would write a lot of these ideas. So I can't imagine that this would be no different, that this is how they did it. And it feels like in their movies, you can clearly tell the difference in jokes. Because there are some jokes that are very surface level, very gag centric, very, I don't want to say completely like toilet humor, lowbrow humor, Hey, I got done milking your cow. We don't have a cow. We got a bull. Kind of thing. Silly stuff like that. Yeah. But then there are other jokes in here that are like, depending on like a callback, like The Ring. In this movie, right, where you got the championship ring, hey, well, look at that. Oh, is that rubber hand? And keeps on going, hey, is that rubber hand? Hey, is that rubber hand? Until the end of the movie, he goes, hey, look at this. It's like, oh, is that a championship ring? So you got to stick around to get the payout for that one. But there are some, again, parts in this or jokes in these movies, whether it be this one or the ones that we talked about before, that are it requires you, the viewer, to put more thought into it rather than just let out a fart and laugh.
Right. This is not Dumb and Dumber, right? Where you can turn your brain off on that. I feel the strongest parts of this movie is definitely the beginning, right? From the beginning till Roy loses his hand, everything else after that is just junk food. It's really dry for me, and it's kind of taxing to sit through. Nothing really is funny, and for me, and then when Bill Murray shows back up and we get the tournament and the amazing comb-overs that just made my wife gag in her mouth is priceless.
Yeah, that outfit, his character, Ernie McCracken, I think steals the show.
He is this movie.
With you.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he very much is. I remember seeing his bowling ball, that clear ball with a rose in it, and like that is the coolest ball I think I've ever seen in my life.
Coolest ball. This guy is such a tool. He has a back brace. He has every kind of bowler brace everywhere you can have. And also like that he's a down and out loser, right? Love the comb over. Love it so much. Did read in IMDb that Bill Murray got the script, and Bill Murray pretty much just, not pretty much, 100% of everything that he did was ad-libbed. And perfect.
Yeah. And also the bowling at the end, that was him bowling, right?
That's what I read, so he must be a good bowler.
Every so often you get some of those people who are just like, no, I could do this. Whether it be, did we do that with Tin Cup where Kevin Costner's like, I can do this putting, or was it who the hell is the guy in Happy Gilmore? Why can't I think of his name?
Shooter McGavin?
Yeah, Shooter McGavin.
You mean my Shooter McGavin cup?
Why didn't I even look at your cup before I started going into my memory bank there? Oh, curses on me.
Bad Bunny.
Exactly. There, again, I think there are certain parts of a movie, and it's said to be something, when a character or a phrase, quote, outlive everything else. And
Sure.
Ernie McCracken is one of those where I've seen many people get a strike and they do an Ernie McCracken at the end. I think that's great. And it's either going to be that or the that viral video of the one guy who didn't know how to react. He goes, "Who do you think you are? I am." After his strike. If you don't know that video, go ahead and look that one up.
I will. I'll look it up. Yep, so we got Kingpin. Let's get into the movie here. Starring Woody Harrelson. I can't talk. Does this came out in 96, so where's Woody at this point in his career? He just got done doing Natural Born Killers in 93. So where's he at now? Is he a star still? Is he a star on the rise, star on the decline? Is he in the middle? What's he doing in 1996?
I think he's just working, right? Like he had that because he was famous because of Cheers, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would say, that he was a TV actor going into the movies. And so after that, he was just probably just working, man, like doing a lot of TV stuff. Now he's segueing into movies a bit more. So yeah, Natural Born Killers was probably his big one. Let's see, what else did he do? Money Train, Sun Chaser, no thanks.
Oh, that's
Kingpin.
right. White Men Can't Jump.
Wasn't that after?
No, White Men Can't Jump was 92.
It was 92, that's right.
Yep. So
all right.
Okay.
So he's working, man. He's working in Hollywood. People versus Larry Flint.
The Thin Red Line. He's the guy that screams, "I blew my butt off." I mean, great line.
Yeah, and this is a mix of like TV cameos as well too, voiceover work. You know, he did it. Ellen, Frasier. It says here, Spin City. So he's doing all this stuff that just working for him, man. And obviously his friendship with Matthew McConaughey, I think from Ed TV, maybe earlier,
kind of helped him out.
He's just like, he's my brother.
So I want to talk. I
Woody
want to
Harrelson
talk about Randy Quaid here. So this guy's controversial, and I don't know why. My memory is that he's controversial, but Randy Quaid was a get, right? So when I was a kid, I don't know who Randy Quaid was. I thought this Amish guy was just a weird actor. I didn't know. I didn't pay attention. To show you how naive I am, I didn't know Randy Quaid was Ishmael until I saw the movie for this review.
Oh, yeah?
Because, dude, it's probably been 20 plus years since I've seen this movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I know the scenes, but I forgot it was Randy Quaid. I mean, he's off of National Lampoon, Success. You know, like where's let's see, where's Randy Quaid at this time? Let's
is
see.
all around, man, because him and Dennis Quaid are working, right? And
Right.
he's doing a lot of just independent B-roll stuff that's just kind of whatever. But I mean, he was big in the 70s, right? And then I think that's what it was. After doing like The Last Deal, then him and like Dennis Quaid were just working, man. They could do a lot of different movies, and it was one of those where he had a lot more range than I think Dennis does, because he can do dramatic, he can do comedy, he can do scary. He's done that a few times as well too. He can do goofball. He was on Caddyshack 2, right? I mean, he has the range, and again, I don't think that Dennis does.
Let's see here. So he had legal issues. That's what it was. Looks like he sued Brokeback Mountain.
Oh yeah, he was in Brokeback Mountain. See, again, he's in a lot of different stuff. And then I think he and Dennis both, I don't know, I want to say they got blackballed, but I mean, aren't they like a few other actors? Didn't they let their politics kind of kill their career a little bit?
He's done a lot of stuff. In 2009, him and his wife were arrested for defrauding an innkeeper for an invalid credit card. In 2010, they were charged with burglary.
Yeah, I remember seeing some pictures of him because he got fat and he was wearing like a muumuu for a while. Yeah,
he moved to Montreal. He was arrested for not checking in, and I mean, like, yeah, this guy's had a lot of issues. And then in 2016, he's a big Trump supporter, which if you're not a Trump supporter, that makes you angry. So yeah, Randy Quaid has some issues. Oh my God, he was in a Streetcar Named Desire. Look at that. So this was a get then, right? So Randy Quaid was a get to be Ishmael in this for the brothers.
Yeah, I'd say, well, no bigger than like a Bill Murray, man. I think if you got Bill Murray, that's gonna be your big bill, right?
Yeah. So Bill Murray, Randy Quaid, Woody Harrelson. I mean, like, that is. Who's the girl? Vanessa Angel? Who is she? What has she done?
I think she was one of those that tried to be in the 90s, but didn't really. I don't know. There was a lot of sex symbols in the 90s that didn't really have the long career that you would think, right?
Yeah, she did nothing. She, this she did Kissing a Fool.
Yeah, a bunch of TV shows. Maybe some parts in like offbeat movies, Killer Instinct, King of New York. Yeah,
not too good for her, but that's okay. So we start off in the 60s. Roy is this young boy whose dad owns a mechanic shop, and him and his dad just love to bowl. It follows Roy all the way till his senior year of high school, and he's a state champion, right? And it's now in the 70s, and he's boogie-woogieing, electric sliding, just killing it. He's the best bowler in the state of Idaho.
You got a gift there, son.
You got a gift. Kind of remind me of Talladega a little bit. So this is where he's now good enough to be pro, and he's on a tour. And he's good enough to where he catches the eye of Bill Murray, who I can already tell is his down-and-out pro, right? He's a real sleazeball, Bill Murray is in this movie. And Roy beats him, right? Beats him in a match, and then Bill Murray decides, hey, I'm going to put some sugar in your gas tank. I love that, by the way, right? Because the next thing after he beats him is that Roy is at the mechanic shop, and he's like, what's wrong with my car? And the mechanic's like, you taste that? And he puts the oil in his mouth. Somebody put oil in your gas tank or something like that. He's like, what? No, I'm sorry. I completely destroyed that. Somebody put sugar in your gas tank. And then towards the end of the skit, you see the sugar in Bill Murray's car. Great. Right? Fun little, which we all knew was Bill Murray. So my question is, Bill Murray wants to get back at him, at Roy. Wants to teach him a lesson. So he goes to this bowling alley where a guy lives on top of a bowling alley and below another bowling alley. And only you would get that joke. And
it's grimy.
And he's playing against this preacher guy and some other dudes, right? Because their skit is that they're traveling dictionary salesmen.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to hustle. Brought me back to White Men Can't Jump because he was playing a hustler in that movie too. So hey, you know.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Did Bill Murray intend, you think, for Roy to completely destroy his life and career and get his hand chopped off, or did you think he just wanted to just get him beat up, teach this guy a lesson, or do you think he not cares? What do you think?
I think
Bill's
it's a
Murray
win-win for him. I think it's just like, all right, here's a hustle that he can do, where he's going to take this kid, and who's a big talent. He's going to downplay it, go to this bowling alley, completely take these guys' money, bet heavy on them, and then skedaddle. And then he, Ernie McCracken, would take the majority of the money or just some money, right? And be like, all right, well, there we go. Take my money. But if something bad happens, I'm not at fault. Here you go, take the kid, which happens, right? Because they take the money, they get out the car or get out of the bowling alley before stuff can go down, and they sit in the car, and that's when the guys start coming out of the car and be like, get out of the car. And he's like, all right, well, sometimes you just gotta whatever. And so Roy gets out of the car, and as soon as he does, Ernie takes off. He's like, oh, that sucks, kind of thing. And,
see you later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Bye. So I think it's one of those where wasn't like a planned thing, but he's always looking out for himself. And like, all right, if I can get some money, cool. If this happens, then even better, kind of a thing. So I don't think he was trying to sabotage, but it just worked out that way. And
he doesn't feel bad that he lost his arm.
No,
his
of
hand.
course not.
Now, this is where also too you find out that the guys like the goons, right, that they were bowling against. The priest takes off the collar and he's like, yeah, how much as a father as you are a dictionary salesman. I was like, oh, that guy was hustling too.
Yep, exactly.
So why are they mad if they got out-hustled when they're themselves are hustlers, right?
I don't know. They're just trying, because that's part of the game, man.
That's the game. All right, that's the game.
That's just what it is. Different types of hustles everywhere you go, whether it be on this one or in pool is a big one, right?
Right.
Jeffrey, get Lucille.
I was going to say it if you weren't. Perfect. Which, kudos to this movie, because still to this day, when I go bowling, I always stand waiting for the ball to come in and go, oh, don't put your hand in there. I'm not joking. So what they do is these other hustlers, they take Roy and they shove his hand in the bowl retriever thing and cut off his hand, and now it's modern time, 1996, right? So from 1979 to 1996, this guy's a drunkard and a loser, and he lives in Scranton, Pennsylvania, right? That's the city of The Office.
That's right.
And he doesn't have a job, right? He just avoids the landlord to go to the bowling alley.
He's a scammer. He's an alcoholic, but he's out there just trying to scheme, hustle, and scam for the day.
Right.
Basically.
So, little nonsense, you think? I mean, of course, my idea is that, yes, this is a comedy, and I'm giving this movie way too much thought, but it's just like, okay, wait a minute. He was clearly innocent in this hustle because he didn't really know, but he kind of did. He got his hand chopped off. call the police? What happened to these guys that did this to him? And now he's just going to live the rest of his life as a recluse and a loser and a drunk? I don't believe any of that. You know?
I mean, not like he can bounce back. He was a promising athlete that lost his moneymaker, and now it's just like, right, well, what do I do now, right?
At the end of the movie, he seemed to be doing okay.
Well, he found God. You know? He found... in God's Amish.
Yes. Well, I mean, I believe that. What if God was one of us indeed, right, Joe and Osborne? No?
Yeah. Sing that every day.
Just a stranger on a bus, bud.
Trying to make his way home.
Just trying, you know. And then, you know, what's the other one? Everything's gonna be all right. Rockabye.
Rockabye? What? Yeah.
Anyway, this is a 90s reference episode, clearly. I was just thinking about that watching this movie. It's like, okay, yeah, so I'm not going to keep on harping on it because we have more movie to talk about, but it's just like Roy did something kind of wrong. Sure, I get it, but he got his hand chopped off. How many times am I going to screw that up and say arm through this episode? But it's just like he got his hand chopped off. You would think, you know.
Listen, you're right. It doesn't matter. Like, okay, cops are called, goes to the hospital, those guys get arrested. Everyone goes to jail except for Roy. I get it, whatever the hell. Or maybe he goes to jail too. Doesn't matter. End of the day, he still does not have a hand.
Does not have a hand. He goes to the bowling alley and he's trying to hustle the manager to buy condom machines, right? Because ones that glow in the dark like lightsabers.
Yeah, exactly. He's hustling.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he hears a great sound. He hears this strike. And he looks and there's Ishmael. This Amish?
Yeah.
Amish? How do you say it? Is it Amish or Amish?
Amish.
So am I going to be that guy and just say Amish throughout this episode? That'd be kind of funny.
That's a name, right?
I know Ishmael's a name.
Amish is okay. Dude, yeah, go ahead and say Amish.
No, because I don't want to get in trouble by HR by saying I'm wrong again.
He's Amish.
He's Amish and he's a Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah.
And sorry. So Roy immediately is like, okay, I got to eat off of this cow. Like, this guy's good. Hey, what's your average? 270. And Roy's like, whoa, okay. Like, we got to do something about this, right? And Ishmael has nothing to do with it. You know, he just likes to bowl because he likes to bowl, right? He doesn't. He's
sneaks away from the farm, as an Amish does.
Right.
Just to get a few games in.
Just to get a few games. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't against the religion. There's no electricity in this stuff. But, hey, you know, what do I know?
He's not touching it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. He's not touching it. But then I always tend to go for richer or for poorer for my Amish knowledge. You're welcome on that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There was a serious Amish one with Harrison Ford in the 80s. I'm trying to remember the name of that one.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
I do, but now you got me thinking of for richer or for poorer.
Yeah. So this is where the worst thing that could ever happen to Roy's life, not losing his hand, but he does another hustle where this robber that he hires is trying to steal the landlord's purse. He saves the day, Roy does, right? Throws coffee in the guy's face, and then the landlord wants to say thank you, and she walks into Roy's apartment, and there's the bad guy, right, the robber, and she's like, I'm kicking you out, blah, blah. And Roy says, is there anything I can do? In one of the most realistic throw-up scenes I've seen in a movie.
Okay, so this scene, by the way, this actress is Lynn Shay, who's been in a lot of movies that you and I have seen. She's been also in a lot of Fairly Brother movies.
Does she get the golden headphones?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
She's been in Insidious. She was the medium in Insidious, if you remember that. Probably more notably than all the other stuff that she's been in. But she was in There's Something About Mary and a lot of the other Fairly Brother movies, right? She's just kind of has that, when you're an actress that the director likes, right? Keep them in there for a bit.
She is gross.
In this movie, she's also gross, and There's Something About Mary.
I believe it.
But, so yeah, he sleeps with her to make away rent, and then that's where he finds out about the $1 million bowling tournament. I got to say that one of my favorite bits in this movie, if not the only part that I actually laughed out loud, was when he's kind of thinking about it, like, oh, how do I get Ishmael? How do I get this bowling thing going here? And he's in his car, and he looks in the rearview mirror and sees her doing that bah, type of thing. And his reaction, where he just freaks out and turns around, it gets me every time. There are a few movies that like have that one scene where I'm like, oh, that was perfect.
Right. Oh, just she was gross. I mean, like, what made it even grosser was the one shot where she cocks her leg up to put her pantyhose back on. You could just see, like, the blue veins in her legs. Like, I mean, that's worse than the teeth.
Yeah.
That was worse than the teeth. So now he's going back to the Amish country to hang out with Ishmael to try to convince him to go bowling. We get the classic jokes, right, of milk your cow, bull, right, like you said, raising a barn, right? And then Ishmael's family, like his brothers, even questioning Roy at this point, because they're just like, what Amish are you? You know, kind of thing. Right?
It's kind of obvious, right?
Right. And he's just like, they ask him about a Bible verse, and he's like, it says not to do it. I mean, he's not wrong, right? And this is where he finally convinced Ishmael, hey, we're going to go to the biggest little city in the world. The police department is crap there, but we're going to have a good time. We're going to travel, and we're going to hustle on the way to Reno. Because that's the whole point, right? Because they're not going to these other bowling events as tournaments. They're going to hustle to get to Reno. And
yes, exactly. They got to get the money.
You got to get the money to go to Reno. And then it becomes a buddy road movie, kind of like Dumb and Dumber. And this is where a lot of the boring stuff for me comes into play, right? I mean, this is where it just gets a little annoying. They go to this one bowling alley. They're trying to hustle. They can't because they're too dumb with the hustle. So then the one guy at the bowling alley is like, hey, you want to play for real money, bud? You know, there's this rich guy back there.
Yeah.
You know. So then they go to this rich guy's house. They win. And this is where they meet the love interest. What's her name? Miss who?
Claudia?
Miss Claudia.
Yeah.
So
Claudia and Stanley, the guy, the rich guy.
HR don't hurt me or hate me. But Claudia's a whore, right? I mean, that's her profession.
You could say a gold digger, Jordan. Jeez.
No, I was being serious. I thought she was a lady of the night.
You want to say like maybe a high priced or high class one? Sure.
She reminded me of what's the girl who was in Saved by the Bell that did Showgirls? What's her name?
Elizabeth
Banks.
Berkley?
Berkley. Elizabeth Berkley, right? Do you remember she was a high-priced hooker for Any Given Sunday for Al Pacino?
That's right.
Is she
or Jennifer Gardner in Catch Me If You Can?
Jennifer Gardner was in that, yes. Do you take check? For you, I do. No, it's just I was thinking about it. I was watching the movie because Miss Claudia's with this rich guy, clearly for money. Yes, gold digger is 100% right. I would agree with you. But then then her outfits and everything that she has after that, I'm just like, that seems very costumey. Like, what should I wear tonight, sir?
She's the decoy, right, to try to pull distraction from the bowler, right? Whether it be, just like you said, her outfit very tight-fitting and going to get a beer in the fridge and standing in front of the fridge a little bit too long. So when she comes back, it's pretty visible for everyone who's staring. But can't go through for Ishmael because he's thinking about the Lord.
None the wiser. And I kept on thinking of Deuce Bigalow when she comes out of the fridge, but the tank, get the snails at the bottom of the fish tank.
Yeah.
I kept on thinking about that. So they don't hustle this guy. They actually win, right? Like Ishmael wins. And this is also, too, like a few scenes prior where Roy finds out that Ishmael doesn't really have a bowling average of 270 because in bowling there's 10 frames. Ishmael plays 15 frames.
Yeah.
So he has a terrible average. But he actually beats this guy. He gets 3 strikes in a row, which will come back later.
Yeah. Playing straight up is not like a hustle. I think, if anything, the other guy, Stanley, was trying to hustle them, right? And they just happened to come out on top.
Yeah, the only time they've ever come on top. And then Miss Claudia gets them, and now they're going on the run, and they're partners, right? All 3 of them. And Miss Claudia knows. She even talks to Roy, and she's just like, you're taking advantage of Ishmael. He's simple man. He not know things. What are you doing? And they become partners, and then they start hustling. Of course, you get the stupid joke, right, where they go to different bowling arenas, and they're all attracted, or all the men are, besides the one time they weren't because there was a goat there or a sheep or something.
Yeah.
Well, that was hilarious, right?
Yeah, it was fun in the 90s.
Right. And this is where they go to a hotel, too, and Miss Claudia and Roy have a big fight, and Ishmael's done. He's like, no, I'm not going to mess with you guys anymore. You guys fight too much. I don't like it. You use the Lord's name in vain. I smoke now. By the way, Roy explaining to Ishmael that cigarettes are okay was a good line. It was a very good line.
A lot of them really spoiling Ishmael into just, it was hilarious. And again, Randy Quaid plays such a naive person so well that it's just kind of, it's comical. So he sells it in this movie.
He does.
And Woody Harrelson just kind of, I don't think this movie was as popular just because the characters were just all sleazy. And what's good about Dumb and Dumber is like those two are just innocently stupid, right? But like they don't mean any harm. Like they're not malicious characters. They're just dumb.
Frost.
Yeah. Whereas the characters in this movie, the majority of them suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just not likable people, and if something bad happens to them, you don't ever feel bad just because they suck.
Well, true, but I don't think that people knew that going into the movie. I think the movie did bad because it's bowling. I mean, like, I don't know how Talladega Nights did, but NASCAR is not that popular, right? So
NASCAR
maybe it is
huge.
Well, I don't know how much that money made. I'm just trying to say is that I don't think bowling is a very good catch. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get people to. I mean, this is
sure.
This is ESPN the Ocho territory.
I get you. Like as far as sports and their audiences go, I can't really name any one professional bowler for you. I don't watch racing, but I could at least name some famous racers for you here. Yeah. That's whether it be NASCAR. And then the other part of it too is that when I lived on the west side of the state and it's a little bit more country out there, like I know guys who had the Dale flag and tattoos on them, R.I.P. Dale. Where I don't think anyone is going to have a Brunswick tattoo on them. And if they do, then boy, that's a thing.
It's clearly, the Dakotas, the Wyomings, right?
I will confess one thing though, because around here I remember hitting 21 when I was of age, and there's your bars that you can usually go to, but in my hometown it's not a college town, right? So you just kind of have, everyone has their own types of bars. There's one bar by the police station, that's the cops bar, right? There's one bar over here by the bowling alley, I guess that's where they are too. But there are some other, like where the drinking specials are. Anyway, there's not a whole lot of places to like hang out. There are some bowling alleys though, and I remember, I don't know if you are privy to this, but where after like 8 or 9 o'clock, they'd have cosmic bowling.
Yep.
So black lights go on, the pop music, dance music starts coming up. You know, hey everyone, we got Little John's King of Crunk. We're gonna play that until 2 a.m, kind of thing. That and all that, and it's just a party, right? And so there are many times where I knew of night leagues that started then. And you would have kind of older people that would come in there, and I don't know, not like older, but older to me. So they would be, you know, your late 30s, or the 40s, kind of like the age we're at now, actually.
Kind of, yeah. We're aging ourselves here, bud.
Yeah, exactly. But like that was their party because they could still go home at like 11 o'clock and they'd be like, okay, that's a night type of thing. So there was that sort of party. But again, those people are there more for the party, not for the bowling, right? Like, they're not going to be like, oh, I love bowling so much, I can't wait to watch me a bowling movie. Or, hey, did you see I don't even know what the association is called.
I don't think they name it. It's just win $1 million from ESPN, because ESPN was covering it.
The Pro Bowler, PBA? Professional Bowlers Association?
That's the real life thing. I don't know if they advertise.
I don't think anyone's saying, you know what I mean? Like, they're going on like, hey, man, did you see the PBA tournament back on the TV type of thing? It's like, no, what the hell are you talking about, man? I don't know.
Right.
It's a special breed of people. Like,
but this is, what's funny is that they get to Reno and Bill Murray shows up and he's a freaking rock star. So everybody loves bowling, right? And I love his sleazeball commercial with the moms. All ad-libbed, right? I loved that commercial, right? So he makes this commercial in the movie where he says, you know, that every town that he bowls in, he's gonna be a father to one of these kids that has a deadbeat dad, and his hands were just groping on these moms, and the moms are loving it, you know, because they know, you know. And then one of the kids, one of my favorite lines in the movie too, is one of the kids is like, sometimes, I'm sorry, what's Bill Murray's name again in this movie? Ernie McCracken.
Ernie McCracken.
Sometimes when I wake up, Big Ern is still in the kitchen making breakfast. I'm just like, perfect. I love it. You know, I love how he's a sleazeball. And he gets into Roy's head. And then that's where you said earlier, one of your laugh out loud moments was him picturing the landlord tenant in the back seat. And I did at the beginning of the show, but just, it was random for me. And sometimes, Eric, random outburst just gets me. Right? Where he's just sitting there at the bar with Ishmael, just drinking upset. And there's another guy that sits next to him, and all of a sudden he just yells, "I'm not psycho," at the top of his lungs. And then doesn't say anything else. And the guy just looks at him and slowly gets up and walks away. I slapped my knee on that. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. It's little parts on that, too.
Right. And he also has a daydream, too, that this rich guy playing craps who was in...
Chris Elliott.
Right. He was... Oh, God, what was this character's name in Something About Mary? Oh, crap.
Woogie or something like that?
Woogie, yeah. Woogie, and then Woogie goes up to Roy and Ishmael, and it's in his head. You know, he's just like, hey, can you guys have gay sex with each other? I'll pay you $1 million. Why would he think that? Why would Roy daydream about that? I don't know. But this is for me.
He wants the money. Yeah.
Right. And this is also where Miss Claudia gets confronted by the ex-boyfriend, and she's like, look, I'm caught. I don't like these guys. I got $42,000 in this purse or this bag. Let's go. You know, he's just like, all right. You left me once. I know you're not going to do it again. All right. And this is the movie for me. This is where, you know, it's a Sunday late morning, you know, it's early 2000s, you turn on the TV and what's on USA Network is this end of this movie. Always.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole bowling tournament is absolutely great. It's the movie for me. I mean, you get the chuckle of him getting the confidence to bowl because Ishmael cannot bowl anymore because he was trying to punch Bill Murray in the face and he breaks his bowling arm. Not my bowling arm. You know. Not my bowling hand, you know. You know, you get the thing where Roy has to bowl, and of course his fake hand is on the bowl. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, again, a lot of gags on here.
Right.
Like, even when they're in the bathroom in Vegas and, everyone's standing at the urinal except for Ishmael, who's squatting in a urinal.
He doesn't know.
Yeah,
and like one of my also favorite lines in the movie is that where ESPN is there, which is really funny because this my wife said, "Oh, this movie's kind of like Dodgeball." Gina's never seen Kingpin before. Okay. Especially with the ESPN stuff, and I was like, "Honey, you're seeing pre the Ocho, bud. This is a thing." So I like it when Big Ern goes up to bowl, and he has that obnoxious bowling ball, and he sticks his arm all the way out to the left, which, because of this movie, I do.
Well, better than Fred Flintstone, I guess.
Right. And then to look at that form, it's so unorthodox, and he throws the ball, right? And he's so sleazy. So the end of the movie, you get the greatest comb-overs of all time. I mean, it made my wife gag, and it made me feel a little awkward, too. I mean, Big Ern's hair just... I mean, my God, how long is that hair?
It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. As far as anything that... if any one thing is remembered in this movie, it's definitely Bill Murray's comb-over.
It is so great. Did HR watch it with you? Did she go, oh, God?
No. HR did not see this movie, nor will she watch this movie.
Fair enough.
I would be surprised if she made it 15 minutes.
I believe that. So my wife, then, since we're talking about that, I watched her throughout the rest of this movie, and she was just on her phone. She wasn't watching the movie until the bowling tournament happened, and then she put her phone down, and she was invested, right? That then shows me that the tournament is the best part of the movie. And it goes down to Roy and Big Ern. They got their match, and Big Ern needs to get a turkey. He needs to get 3 strikes in a row to win by 1 pin to win the $1 million, right?
Yeah.
And Big Ern throws the final ball. He wins. He knocks down the pins, and my wife looks at me with her mouth open like, oh, like a gasp. She's like, is that real? Did he actually win? I was like, yeah, Big Ern actually wins.
And she threw it in real life, too.
Yeah. And then Gina's like, what does Woody Harrelson win? I said, he learns a lesson. He wins a lesson. That and Trojan.
Yeah, he gets the biggest endorsement, $500,000 from Trojan Condoms, because he's the rubber man.
I think that's really stupid, because he would be a terrible guy to make you want to get condoms, because he looks terrible. You would think that they would, to me, a funnier joke would be everybody at the tournament was calling him Rubber Man, but then Trojan has a mascot called Rubber Man. So they pay him $500,000 to not be Rubber Man anymore. Shh, go away.
I mean, you can control that. But, yeah, again, this is kind of the dumb part of a movie is trying to wrap it up sometimes. Hey, right. Trojan Condoms.
Yeah. I mean, Bill Murray's lines are funny, right? He wins, and he pretending that he's sweating, like a football player does after a game, and he's interviewing. And every answer he was getting, I don't know if you were paying attention to it really well, but every answer he was getting was like, what do you think about this, Big Ern? He's like, I don't care. I'm rich. I can do whatever I want to do. There's nothing that will stop me. I'm just like, ooh, $1 million? You're not rich. Yes, not anymore. But 1996 money, I guess so, right?
96, yeah, I'd say that's pretty good money there.
Right. So then everybody goes back, right? Goes back to where they belong. Big Ern wins the tournament. Roy becomes the Rubber Man, gets $500,000. They go back to Ishmael. Him and Miss Claudia do, and they give Ishmael $500,000
to save the farm.
And then we end the movie with the such mid-90s band you could ever have, Blues Travelers.
Yep.
It was fun, I guess. So, Eric, with that being said, I guess I'll go first on this one. I told you I'm not a fan of this. I did laugh at some lines. This movie's not the weakest in our sports retrospective, but I probably am never going to hey, you guys want to watch Kingpin? So, I mean, for me, it's a small bag. It's fine. It's not their best movie as directors. And you're right. Everybody in the movie, besides Ishmael, is just so unlikable. But Bill Murray is fun as a sleazeball. So, yeah, small bag for me. I'm not a fan. But what is your popcorn rating for Kingpin?
Oh, I would agree. I think it's a small bag. I feel like it still lasts in pop culture, this movie. I still maintain, I say it over and over again, that I like The Gutter as a bowling movie better than this one. I laughed more in that movie than I did with this one. But again, this is a dumb movie. This is what they were doing in the 90s. It's a dumb movie. And again, the individually they've gone to do better things. The Farrelly brothers, they're directors. They've also gone to do worse things. So take it for what that is. But no, this is not a movie that I'm excited to rewatch or watch or anything like that. It's a dirty movie.
Yeah.
In all parts of it, man, both in kind of context and just the characters that were involved in it too. It doesn't seem like there's really any happy or joyful ending or even parts in this really movie, right? It's just kind of like, I don't know, unfortunate events after another kind of a thing. And then these people, these dirty people, take an innocent person and corrupt him. He turns into an erotic dancer in this movie.
Which is great, too. What perfect line. I like that, actually. They find him. He's at a male strip club.
Ishmael's dancing, yeah.
I love it. He's licking the pole. Great.
Oh, God. Yeah. So, Yeah, I feel like this movie is just kind of has like that gross factor because that's what was kind of working back then, where she's like, okay, how far could we go? And this was just kind of how it was. I mean, it gets worse as time goes on. That's probably why they did movie 43, because that's even further down the crap hole than this movie is. So
I'll go with you on that one.
Like, let's make a skit to where a guy has nuts on his chin, and we'll do it with two Oscar award-winning actors.
Didn't Family Guy do that? This concludes, right?
Yeah,
so
true.
the next time that we do the sports episode is going to be our sports episode wrap up, right? This is it. We've made it all the way through. We started with Rocky, and we're ending with this.
Yep.
So, with that being said,
no, I was gonna say, isn't it funny that like we started with Rocky, where the main character doesn't win, and we ended with a movie where the main character does not win.
True, but he wins in life. He wins a lesson.
Well, when you're at the bottom, right?
I mean, yeah, that's all you can get for. But we hope Movie Guys Podcast is all you could get. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com or wherever you get your podcast from. I know you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but I just rediscovered that we're also on iHeartRadio. So I've been listening to us on iHeartRadio. Nothing different. It's just a different app, but it's there.
All the apps.
All the apps. We're on that platform. But Eric, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll be back next week for another awesome episode. Have a good night.
When I was growing up as a kid, I was introduced to a lot of the sci-fi because my mom, she was a big nerd. She still is a big nerd, but she loves a lot of the sci-fi stuff. She was the one that preferred Star Trek over Star Wars, even though again, she loves both, of course, right? But really, growing up, there were times when, like before bed, I would kind of sneak in and get an extra hours or half an hour in and watch TV with her, but I have to watch her shows, right? So we watch like Sliders or like Alien Nation or her favorite, Star Trek. Next Generation. Yeah, sci-fi shows.
Right.
So she loved it, and that's fine. I would watch along. Some episodes were cool. A lot of them I didn't follow along with because they're over my head. I was a kid. Anyway, This was around the time of, 95, 96, right? Whenever First Contact came out. You say 96, right?
94. No, yeah. First Contact was 96, 94 was Generations.
So around that time, there was another movie that came out that I absolutely wanted to see. I was hyped. Buddy, I was seeing ads for it, and I was just like, I need to see this movie. It's a little feature film starring John Leguizamo called The Pest.
Hold on. Oh, damn it. Okay.
Sorry.
I was going to guess. You please, you got excited. It's your story.
It was The Pest. And I was just like, I was like psyched. I wanted to go see this movie, right? And I think the release kind of, because First Contact came out like the holiday season kind of a thing, and The Pest came out like in February or something like that, month after. But this was a time when like movies actually had life in the theater. They didn't just last a month or two in the theater. They actually like had a long run, especially if they were successful, right?
Sure.
Anyway, we get a snow day or something like that, and my mom's like, we should go see a movie. I was like, hell yeah, we should go see The Pest. She goes, okay, get in the car. I was like, oh yes, I'm just loving it. I'm on cloud nine. I'm
Best
thinking
mom
this
ever.
is awesome. This mom's awesome, man. Go to the theater, and I'm just like looking at all the posters. This is great. She gets the tickets. We get some popcorn. Oh hell yes. Oh man, it's gonna be lit. And I see the theater. There it is, The Pest, and we're walking right past it. And I was like, wow, where are we going? This is the movie. She's like, oh no, we're not. We're not going to see that movie, Eric. We're going to go. We're going to go see Star Trek First Contact. And right, like the feeling as a kid, right, just hurts. I'm just
The disappointment.
I'm down, right? I think I was like 12 years old or something like that, maybe. And I'm just like, oh my god, day's ruined, dude. I can't even go home with this woman. Are you serious? Like I'm just so let down. I hate it. And she's like, all right, well, you can go wait in the car, or you can go see this movie with me and get some popcorn. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to say no to the popcorn. All right. So, whatever. Go sit down and watch the movie, Star Trek First Contact. And I'm just like thinking, screw this. I'm not going to have a good time. Why would I have a good time, man? This movie's going to suck so bad. I wanted to go see The Pest. This movie's
Star Trek's boring.
The movie's going to be awesome. Anyway, turns out I was far from wrong. I was so abysmally wrong, right? Where after a while, I'm thinking as a 12-year-old, like, okay, this movie's awesome, actually. Star Trek First Contact is like, and it was great because I didn't even need to like watch the show religiously like my mom did, watch the other movies. It is just on its own. I'm familiar with who these characters are, kind of what they're doing, and even if you didn't know who these characters are, you could just kind of watch it.
Right.
But on board. This movie's awesome. And I'm just like thinking, like walking up and like, oh man, what a fool I was, kind of thing. But whatever, Pest is gonna be awesome. I remember watching The Pest like a year later on HBO when it came out. I'm like, oh man, this movie sucks. Like this movie's hard to watch, even for like a 13-year-old boy. Like this movie's hard to watch, man. Like because at this time you already had Jim Carrey making a fool of himself on camera, and John Leguizamo was just kind of like someone who's imitating Jim Carrey, and they also do cocaine.